Hello friends, Stacy Anfinson here with your Torreport market update. Going to do something different this time. This is really meant for listing agents and their stubborn sellers. Hence the title, Are You Listening to the Market? And my favorite phrase that I hear far too often, but the comps say. So let's dig in and see what I'm trying to convey here. Where can I go for clues before putting the house on the market? Number one, inventory levels, total and new home. Months of housing supply, is the market balanced, under or oversupplied? Geographies with price points and price dropping sellers. And the last one's expired listings. These are distinctly failed listings that the market has looked at them and said thumbs down to their price. Now, what about the first day on the market? Well, showings first, then offers within the first 10 days. Have you heard me speak or write before? I've been pretty consistent about this because this is what the market says. You need both of these things in order for the market to deem that you have a correct list price. Number two, in all caps, price is incorrect if no showings and or offers within the first and subsequent 10-day periods. The data is so consistent over various price points and geographies and product types throughout the triangle. This is absolutely one of the most provable things that I can say. Number three, this is tough. Put your CMA on the shelf. Historic data, buyers can't buy what the house sold across the street for. So I know you're all very proud about your CMAs, but and we are about our appraisals, but once they're done, they're pretty much historic data. Even if you have active listings, those list prices can change, and you get if houses come and go off the market. So remember, number four, every aspect of the listing is reflected in its list price. I mean, that's condition, it's lot size, it's the landscaping, east facing, north facing, all that stuff is all reflected in its list price. So just remember, to quote James Carville, it's the list price, stupid. He didn't say that, but anyway. Okay, so just going over this graph again, we've seen this before. This is total end of month inventory for Marches all the way back to 2007. You can see the total is up 13% and resale is up 36%. That is really good for buyers. Now, new home inventory, this is where we're going to start slicing into geography. This is where we don't really have any new construction products. So down on the bottom, we've got the zip code and the city where the zip code is located. The aqua bar is total sold listings, and then the blue bar is the percentage of sold listings of new construction. So there are a lot of zeros in Chapel Hill and Cary and Morrisville and Raleigh, and then there's 27513 in Cary. 27713 in Durham was really it's got 146 sales, as you see there, but of those 146, only 6% on new construction. So that's really going to favor the seller because essentially those are primarily resale markets. So let's flip that around now and look at new home inventory where there's the largest percent of new construction. And not to pick on Apex again, but three of their zip codes are in the top 6 in terms of most amount of new construction. So 502 is at 64%, 27539 is at 59%, 57% down in Willow Spring, 54% in Apex, 52% in Fuquay, and 46% in Wake Forest. That's what you call a predominant market share of new construction. So let's slide into these new home sold price metrics. And once again, these are the zip codes, and this should match up with the prior zip codes in terms of having a large amount of new construction. Well, not only are resales competing against new construction, but new construction is competing against new construction. So the aqua or teal bar is the sales price to original list price ratio, and the blue bar is the percent of sold new construction listings with reported financial closing costs paid. So just to give you an example, over a 27502 in Apex, the average sales price to original list price ratio for new home listings is 97%, and 68% of those sales had reported closing costs paid by the builder. So those are the things that we can measure in MLS, but here's what we can't measure because we don't know if the buyer purchased or took advantage of the home builder national financing entity. And what I give you an example here, you see the sales price up there or the loan amount. We've got two categories. I think Pulte had 3.99% with a 7-year ARM. And then as of the date of me doing this, the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage is 6.32%. So the First line is the monthly principal and interest, so 3.99%, that's about 17.16, and then it's 22.29. Now, if you look at it over the total amount paid in P&I over 7 years, so 3.99% is going to be about a little over $144,000. And then normal market rate financing is $187. So over 7 years, that's $43,000. That's real money. That's not like paying $5,000 or $10,000 in closing costs. That's now, of course, the example, you have to keep it for 7 years, but we get that. But I think this is really a strong number that is real because it's offered by all the national builders and probably will be for the remainder of this year unless something crazy happens. But they're out there trying to do whatever they can to get those houses sold. So keep this table in mind. I think it's really impactful, especially if you're trying to resell in one of their new construction subdivisions. All right, so we're going to look at townhouses. I tend to pick on the 3-story townhouse in Apex because there's a lot of them. This is January, February, March, and April of this year. The aqua bar is the total amount of new home listings in MLS. The blue bar is the total new townhouse listings. And then the green line is the percentage townhome listings of the new construction added. So you can see it's really about 25 to around 25% would be the average for the 4 months. So about a quarter of the new home market that is being added within the 7 main counties, you see them up there, is really townhouses. So that's a pretty consistent and pretty strong number. So here we go. This is where we're going to get to the meat of it, and this is days on market because it means everything. And as I said in the beginning of this slide, the market reacts to price in 10-day periods, and it is consistent against all geographies and all price points. I'm going to give you 2 of those after this. This is all resale sold listings in the 7 main counties above, and this is for March. You can see that if you sold it within the first 10 days, you got about 100% of your list price. On the 11th day, the discount goes to 1%. On the 21st day, it goes to 2%. On the 31st day, it goes to 3%, and so on and so forth. It's just amazing how consistent it is. So to just give you 2 other examples, here's our townhouse sold listings. Once again, first 10 days, townhouse, regular house, most product types and geographies are getting 100% of list price. And then you see, once again, here comes the discount, 2%, 3%, 3%, 4%, and down the line. And the 60-plus day, I put this in the stubborn seller category because they just don't understand market conditions. Now, the last example I give of this is the only sub-market where you don't get 100% of your list price in the first 10 days, and that's 800,000 and up. I've seen some softness in that, but you can see the discounts are a little bit more severe in these. Not sure why that is the case, but you can see on the 11th day it goes to a 4% haircut, and the 21st day it's still 4%. And then if you're on the market for 60 days, you're going to be 10% of your original list price on average. So let's wrap it up. The hearing aid, I really encourage you to have your listening ears on when you listen to the market. So these are your hearing aids. We're going to monitor inventory on a daily basis. We're going to monitor new home inventory and incentives. You're going to convey the dollar amount of builder financing to sellers. I think that's an easy thing to convey to them. Once again, the days on the market is in 10-day brackets. The market reacts to list price in that. And the last one, once again, listings on the market for over 10 days are overpriced regardless of your CMA. I cannot tell you how many conversations I have with listing agents who are just like a dog in a bone. Their CMA is in their mouth and they just let it go, put it on the shelf. So hope that was an interesting take on what's on the market. These are the services I provide: appraisals, mortgage, relo attorneys, estate sales, all that stuff. Log into the TAR Report, subscribe to the TAR Report, and then consulting. I do all that. So thank you so much for listening to this. If you like this video, please click on the like, and you can subscribe to this channel. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.